Good morning, Superintendent, and ladies and gentlemen of the school board. Thank you very much for making time to see me today. My name is Byron Jones, a teacher here in the district, and the reason I'm here today is to advocate for funding for one-to-one computers in the classroom. You may be, of course, that sounds like money, and it is money, and I would like to talk to you about migrating from a traditional flipped classroom model to the mastery flipped classroom model, and why we should, why it's efficient, and why it is most importantly in the interest of our students. First of all, I'd like to talk about, in organizing and assessing student learning, as we all do as educators, I would like to differentiate a little bit between the traditional flipped classroom model and the mastery model, flipped classroom model. Basic similarities are that they both provide some type of choice. They both support universal design for learning in terms of the multiple means of representation. And what is that, you might ask? Basically, it's, the students have an option of perception, of inputting the data into their brains. They have options for language, mathematical expression, and symbols. And basically, there are options that they have for comprehension. A few examples would include basically watching a video. You can read a book, which is traditional, look at a website, or anything of that nature. Listen to a podcast. They feel more empowered when they have options instead of the teacher saying you must read the book from this page to that page. That's your only option to learn this information. And how that also benefits the classroom is the teacher can act more as a facilitator. Once again, I know that you guys have heard this before. One of the advantages of the flipped classroom. It frees up the teacher for appropriate interventions with small groups and individual students. An example of that could be the teacher gets to spend time with students who struggle a lot, and also the teacher can mentor students who have already mastered the basic material, the basic standards and content towards advanced research and application, which is a true differentiation in the classroom. But we already get that. So why do you ask, should we spend all this money and resources and training for one-to-one? Basically, here are some of the differences. Basically, a traditional classroom, including a traditional flipped classroom, tend to keep to one pace, and it slows some of the, quicker learners. But it's still too fast for some of the slower learners. And slow does not mean they can't get it, they just haven't gotten it at the default median speed. But in the mastery way, it's more self-paced. Once they master the information, they can move on. When they don't master the information, they get to practice more and in different ways. Because we all know that there's a different students absorb information at different rates using different types of interventions in different ways. Also, when you use the one-to-one online systems, usually they're self-correcting. I find that to be the case in all of my online assessments, except for the essays. Even the fill-in-the-blanks to an extent. Fill-in-the-blanks, some issues are spelling. You can get partial credit for spelling, but the computer usually, if you don't spell it right in the correct capitalization, you'll get 0 points. Well, that's easy enough to correct. Essays, 100%. As a teacher, I look through, give partial credit if necessary, and give feedback towards each student in a uniform and efficient manner. Another way, individualized instruction. Students, this is another way of putting it, but more in-depthly, students who have mastered a concept or standard can work ahead, not held back by slower mastery students, which I mentioned before. Faster mastering students have access to more access to the standards, meaning they get to go deeper with said standard and they get to enjoy it more. They get to have more of an opportunity to apply the knowledge and skills that they require towards real world issues, which is part of the standards that we have here in this district. And I think that's great. In contrast, a regular flipped classroom, once again, the pace is more uniform, which is too slow for some, too fast for others. Mastery provides more of an opportunity of choice, such as research specializations, blah, blah, blah. Why is it that the mastery model requires more technology? Basically, one of the authors of the mastery model, Bloom, which we all know who he is, through his research with his assistants, analyzed the effectiveness of different teaching interventions or variables in the learning process. One of the results of this research is called the Bloom's 2 Sigma. And basically, it talks about that, one, labeling students as low achievers is not so relevant if you alter one or two variables of learning. And the most effective performance variable is tutorial instruction. That's very time, it takes up a lot of time. That's usually one-on-one-to-one with a teacher and a student, sometimes even, peer-to-peer. But still, what could we do? We can simulate this tutorial instruction to a great extent by leveraging the technology. And a great way of doing that, once again, is having one-to-one in the classroom. It helps keep track of the diverse student population. Everyone masters, everyone achieves. You find a higher camaraderie, more interactivity. Not only people using their eyes and ears, they get to touch when they interact with the computer or tablet type of device. There's better communication opportunities with students. When the teacher has more time to move around the classroom and work with with small groups and with individuals, there's better discipline because each student gets to manage their own level of interactivity with the content and their own pacing. Technologies such as smart boards help to positively direct energy for students who struggle sitting for long periods of time. And next, I would like to go into a great example online learning system that I believe is an answer for all of our needs here in the district. And once again, with one-to-one in the classroom, I hope you will be able to see this technology and this online software platform, I think is a really great option. And that option is called Schoology. Hello. We're going to talk about Schoology now. That's the name of our Web 2.0 assessment tool. Basically, what type of assessments does the tool enable? There are basically three different types. You can do an assignment, discussion, or test or / quiz. You can find those here at Add Materials. I'll click there. You can add assignments, add test, quiz, add discussion. Basically, discussion is something, basically like a blog type of assignment. Type in, say, blog here. You can have a due date, say tomorrow, 100 points, category, call it blog. Hit create, and then it'll show up right here. When you can go inside, edit, and it basically does a description, rating options, individual assign, connect it to different learning objectives, publish or unpublish, and people members can see other responses before participating. You can toggle that on or off. All right, and the other type of one is an assignment. So you can hit add assignment. And basically, it's a question answer. let's say submissions enabled. Say, what is your favorite color? Once again, due date, let's have that be Friday. Category, create new assignment. Create, and that will show up. Go through here, edit, and it shows up again. And test/quiz. There are different types. You can do true or false, multiple choice, ordering, short answer essay question, fill in the blank, or matching. And basically here, you go to edit. Actually, left click on the test I created. Add question. You have a menu, same thing, true or false, choice, ordering, short answer, fill in the blank, or matching. You can import questions from a quiz that was already created. I make mine using a different piece of software, and I import them as a zip from a zip file, and you can do that. So I use the Blackboard 7.1 to 9.0 format. Next. Button for file. I have it in my downloads. 28 and 29. Complete import. Boom. Done. You can see right here, 3 essay questions, 5 fill in the blank, 2 matching, 10 multiple choice, 10 true or false. 30 different questions for a total of 35 possible points. Basically, you can go through and you can edit the questions even after you've added them. You can have a character limit, allow rich text answers for students, time the question. I like to have my essays be worth more than 1 point. It gives more of an incentive for students to not skip them. Okay. Fill in the blanks. Like this. You get these type of options. Same type of thing. I'll leave that at 1 point. You can have a rubric if you would like. Create one. All right. See here. Matching. Matching are quite interesting. Here's a good point that you should remember when you import matching type of questions. You can allow partial credit, and what that does, if you get 1 wrong and 2 right, per se, the computer will give you 2 points instead of 0. You can add extra blanks, that kind of thing. I'll go ahead and save that. And so basically, this is an example of a test. Now, you might say, well, okay, that sounds exciting. How might I create an account? Easy. Let's say I want to create a teacher account. So we'll go Schoology. Sign up. Sign up as an instructor. Now we're in. Select your country. I'm physically in Japan. In school. National Relations Association. Or you can skip the step. And voila, there you are. You can go to the home page. That. You can create a course. We'll call ours History 2. One section, Social Studies. I'm going to go, this is going to be an 8th grade class. Hit create. And voila, you are there. You have a unique access code that you can send to students to join your class. You can add material as we did before, upcoming assignments or events. Here we can look at the members of my class. It's only me. This shows that I'm the administrator. And you can invite students and organize them into groups. Take attendance, badges for achievement and or encouragement. Grade book keeps track of all the grades. Updates. And then, but the default is materials, adding materials. Also, you have analytics. Basically, this is because it's a web-based software. How many times the page has been viewed, how many comments, and it tracks it by date, user, you can do it by assignment. Of course, this looks kind of boring right now because we don't have anybody in class, but that's basically how it goes. And basically, there's a lot you can do with this software. I'm going to show you one sample use of this assessment already. We'll do a quick quiz, see how it looks. Basically, you need internet access, preferably one-to-one in the classroom, which we do not have, which is why we are asking for more technology. And basically, the version of Schoology that we're looking at right now was basic. It doesn't cost a thing. If you would like to use some other second tier, third tier type of options, that's a subscription that needs to be purchased at your level. You do need a robust LAN or WAN. Also, access to SmartBug technology would be good because you can do some assignments together. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to log in with my student account. All right, and we're going to take that test that we just created. All right, fun. Let's take part of it. Okay, so here I'm signed up as a student. Byron Jones, student. What's this? Oh, notification. There's a blog, one assignment, other items. Oh, here's our test. So I'm going to go ahead and try to do the test first. Uh-oh, test is not currently accepting submissions. All right. So what I need to do now, go in with the teacher account and go ahead and make that test enabled. And when it's enabled, then the students are able to see it and interact with it. Okay. Test. Start new attempt. One attempt. How did President Reagan's military buildup affect the Soviets? They corrupted them. I'm going to skip this one. Skip this one. No child left behind. Directed use of standardized. U.S. negotiator, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to skip that. I'm going to skip that. Matching questions. Former California governor. So A, Ronald Reagan. U.S. general during the Persian Gulf War. Norman Norman. And Soviet policy for speaking out. Can I do that C again? I can. One of these will be right. Will be wrong. Another set. We have multiple choice right here. During Carter's first year in office, how many of his reform bills were passed? Let's say 3 of them. And so you can see the different multiple choice questions. Um, at the end, we also have true and false. Workers in Latin America, Eastern Europe, and Asia are generally paid more than American workers. Is that true? No, false. And so I'm going to hit submit. Sure. And that's it. And then basically, depending on your options, you can see how you did. And the computer will automatically rate everything but the essays. You can leave a comment if you want. Anyway, that's the general fun. So in general, that's how the courses are set up. It's lots of fun. It's for the students. They get to go at their own pace. And really 21st century technology, mastery, flipped classroom, and it's all involved in the software. And one more thing. Let's see here. One other thing I forgot to show you that's super awesome for mastery purposes, and that is I can with my course I can make it so that first thing I can do is we'll make a folder, call it test, make it red. And we will add everything we've created so far, and we'll put it inside our folder. The blog, quiz, and the assignment. And now what we have inside the folder, we have an option of student completion. And here's really where the mastery section works in. Requirements must be completed in sequential order. That. Also, side. There we go. Now when we open up the folder, we have different options. Student completion. Add a requirement. Test 1, member must score at least 85 to master. Second assignment. Requirement for the assignment, member must post a comment and reply. Third assignment, blog must post a comment and reply. So now, whenever I go to take that test, so let's see here. I'm going to go into test. As a teacher, one student who took the test. I'll review the attempt. The computer automatically graded some of them. And then, I did not pass. Uh-oh. But for the essay questions, I must post something. Bank 2 points. 0, 0. So it automatically calculates the results by a student. I got 16% out of 100. Now I'm going to log in one more time as a student. And we'll see if it allows me to go to skip to the next assignment. So, what did I do? I got a 16, and it's locked. And it says here, you cannot proceed until you've completed the current item or until the next item becomes available. So because I didn't score an 85, it's not letting me go again. So what I normally do is I'll lock the test at 3 attempts, and they have to score an 85. And if they don't, then I'll dock them a few points, and they can retake it again. This is really good for a pre-assessment because normally I would have it be unlimited attempts, and they can do it at their own pace until they score that 85, and then the test will open up. So thank you very much for making time for me today. Once again, this is really exciting technology. It goes towards everything that 21st century technology is about. Even 20th century Bloom's mastery, methods can be implemented to a great extent. You have a close to one-to-one tutorial type of learning, and every student will master the information eventually. And once again, with funding from you, even if it's a pilot program, only for maybe like 2 or 3 classrooms, and with the Schoology account, even starting with the basic free version, I think we should see some real advancement, through the data, and the data that's already embedded in software can help us to further customize and be accountable and move forward and learn and teach and continue to grow. Thank you very much for your time.